Hey, how you guys doing out here? I'm still here at the Schomburg at the Black Comic Festival, the 8th annual Black Comic Festival. They've been doing this 8 years strong. I'm not standing next, I'm sitting next to a man that's legendary within the industry of comics and art. If you look at the table right here, he has a lot of beautiful artwork. And the stuff that he's selling today is fantastic, it's beautiful, it's aesthetic. Stuff like this I look forward to seeing at a show. I'm sitting next to the one and only
Leroy Davis.
That was a magnificent entrance. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, man. How you feeling?
I'm great, man, because I'm sitting next to you, man. You know, I'm here interviewing you. I'm going to ask you some very serious, important questions. How did you get started with art?
There was no start. It was just straight out the womb. I had an older brother who could draw. So, like anybody else, you imitate your older brother, except that I could actually draw as well. So, there was no long, drawn-out story, just something I always have been doing and been able to do.
Okay. So, are you primarily a comic artist, or you're just an illustrator who you like to touch different things?
I'm an artist who can do anything that I sit down to decide to do. So, whether I want to do something serious, whether I want to do a comic strip, whether I want to do comic, whether I want to do caricature, whatever the vision is in my brain, whatever is going to get it out, bring it to life, then I do it. Yes.
All right. I see you got a lot of beautiful artwork here. A lot of caricatures. You got some Voltron going for you. Got Iron Fist. Were you the guy that did that drawing of Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder as Iron Fist and Luke Cage?
I saw that before, but no, that wasn't me.
Wow, I thought that was you, man.
No. My work, people know my work from the Source magazine. From 1990 to 2007, every issue, I was in the back page. Then, of course, later on, did work for Marvel, done work for record companies, did Ja Rule's album cover, so I've done a whole bunch of things. So there's a lot of people I think I've influenced, so maybe that brother who did the Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor was influenced by my work.
May we see some of your portfolio work?
Right over here.
Yeah.
Because just bringing comic books and hip hop together. Everything I do has to make sense. So, of course, you have Das Effects, who when they were out always talked about coming straight out the sewer. And here they are with Ninja Turtles. Whoever had the blue on and never had the red, I was never a Ninja Turtle fan, so I couldn't answer that for you. Here is Tying in the Game and 50 Cent. It's Popeye and Brutus. Let me see. And Olive Oil. It was Olivia. And take on Toy Story. This is Dre's story. Obviously, Dre as Buzz for like years. And Snoop Doggy Dog Walker, Eminem with a little Spock twist. So there's always like jokes within jokes, whatever I do in jokes, you know. And I'll turn one more. Bringing the comic book cover to life of Iron Man. And since Ghostface calls himself Tony Stark, we did Iron Man. And we did the red and yellow wallaby. So if anybody bit those, I'm the original designer of those because this is over 25 years old. Yeah.
That's amazing, man. That's really amazing. So, what are you up to these days?
Still creating art, obviously. Creating panels. We just did a panel, Hip Hop and Comics in 3D with DMC, the brother Daoud, who does Brother Man, and myself. And I'm teaching in Brooklyn.
So what's your part? What was your role in the panel?
I moderated and created the panel, and designed the poster, and got everybody together. So I didn't moderate it; I curated it.
Curated
the show together. Yes.
Nice, man.
And the whole concept, all of that. Yeah.
So, will I see you again at another comic book convention, or this is it for the year?
I don't do a lot, but I do the strong black conventions, like this one. I usually do BAM, which is in Brooklyn, usually in February. I do ECBAC in Philadelphia, usually in June. So I pick and choose what I want to do.
Of course, that's why you're the man.
The man sitting next to the man, sitting next to the man.
No, no, no. You're the man, but what you do, because you do influence people. Because I really thought that Iron Fist and Richard Pryor joke thing was really your work, and he said, no, you influenced someone to do that.
Yeah, yeah. I'm assuming I did. If you say it looked like it, that's the only way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because the guy who that probably drew it never came forward and said, no, this is my work, but you know. All right,
I get you.
I'm stop rambling. So, are you working on any movies right now?
No movies. Besides life and creating my own stuff, I'm working on the variant cover number 6 for the Harriet Tubman comic book. So that should be done.
Please tell us a little bit about the Harriet Tubman comic.
Harriet Tubman, David is somewhere around here. More or less, you go back in time, you envision Harriet Tubman transporting slaves to freedom, but with a twist now, the slave owners are like vampires, and she is slaying them. So it's Harriet Tubman, Demon Slayer.
Gotcha.
That is the comic book.
Gotcha. So, if anybody wants to contact you online via social media, they want to hire you, what's the best way they should go about reaching out to you?
Well, on Instagram, I am at ALDreDay, which is ALDREDAY. On Twitter, which I don't really do, I'm at ALDreDay as well. And on Instagram, I'm by the full government, Andre Leroy Davis. You can find me. You can find one of my fan pages. Just type it in.
What about your website?
Website, AndreLeroyDavis.com. Only reason I probably didn't mention that is because we are updating it. But website is still up there. It's just not as fly as it needs to be.
Don't worry, you'll make it better.
We're going to, definitely.
You will make it better.
And we'll be doing more panels like this, for sure, that we did earlier.
Okay. Well, you heard what the man said. If you need him, reach out to his website, Twitter, Instagram, maybe Facebook if you're feeling lucky.
Yeah.
The man has a lot of beautiful artwork here for sale. Come by, anytime you're at the Black Cons, look for him, spend some time with him, buy something, and go home happy.
Wait, what did you just say? He said buy something.
Buy something and go home happy.
Yes, don't walk by, buy something.
Yes. Buy something from someone that actually wants to see you versus someone that has no desire to come here and you're buying from them. Don't buy from that guy because they don't even want to bother to visit you. And that's just the truth.
What he said.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you. Thank you so much for your time, Andre. You're a great artist. You really made my day here, my time here. You helped rounded me out. I'm very grateful. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Guys, thanks for watching. That's a wrap. We'll be back until next time. Bye-bye.
I can look at you or do I look at the camera?
Hey, how you guys doing? This is your boy Amari. I'm still at the Black Comic Book Festival at the Schomburg. I'm sitting next to.
I got it. In the wrong show.
No, you're at
the right show. No.
You're at the right show.
Oh, okay, that's right.
This is one of the right shows to be at.
In the closet, so I kind of lightened up. It's okay.
All right. Well,
it's okay. I'm really a brother. It's all right.
All right. I'm here at the Schomburg Festival.
What's your name again?
My name is Omari.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm hosting the show, and I'm here with the one and only Tom
Siaka.
Wow, that's a very difficult name for me to pronounce. Where's that last name?
It's an Italian name, actually Sicilian. It goes by Shaka, like Shaka Zulu. That's why I'm really a brother. So it's okay, but that's how you pronounce it, Shaka.
Yeah, I know. A lot of Sicilians have African ancestry.
Exactly. So somewhere back there, I'm a brother. Who knows? But hey, I grew up in the Bronx, so I feel like a brother anyway.
All right, cool, man. Thank you. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. This is my first time meeting the man, and I want to know more about your story. How did you get involved in the arts and comic books and stuff like that? Please let me know.
Well, How much time do we have? Oh, in that case, I was a little bitty child, and I bought a Batman comic in 1959, or my mother did rather, and the first comic book I remember, it's a Batman comic that had Batman fighting Thor, but not the Thor of Marvel, but it was another Thor. Yeah, their version, and that's the first one I remember. So I got a kind of hooked on comic books, so it was Batman, and then on television, Superman. And one of my earliest memories is of George Reeves dying, because I was on the number 12 bus on Tremont Avenue with my mother, and I was like 4 years old, it's 1959, and there's a newspaper, New York Post, that says Superman dead, and I could read it at the time, so I flipped out, because Superman was my favorite guy. So she tried to hide it from me, but didn't work, and so I was traumatized from that time on. And Superman is my favorite guy.
So when did you start drawing?
Probably at an early age, probably 5, 6 years old, and I always was drawing, and I would first copy out of comic books, and then later on in high school, I met up with George Perez, the George Perez.
Yeah, I know George Perez.
You know him personally?
Yeah, I met one of his models from his alternative line that he used to do at another show, and that's all I could say.
Oh yeah, I know about George's alternative. Yes, Fetish Con. Yes. No, I know George from high school. We met in Cardinal Hayes High School in freshman year, and we've been friends ever since. That's like 1968, and George credits me with breaking him into the comic business, because I brought him to his first Comic-Con, which was, I think, the 1970 New York Comic-Con, and introduced him to a bunch of fanzine friends, so that's how he got involved with fanzines, Factors Unknown. And later on, the two of us broke into Marvel.
Hey, how you guys doing? It's your boy Amari. You're wondering, what am I doing here still at the Schomburg? I'm going to tell you. I'm standing next to a legendary figure in the world of comics. Not only regular comics, but black comics. His comic book character, Dreadlocks, is very historical, and I just want people to know his side of the story and Dreadlock's side of the story. I'm standing next to one of the tallest men in comics, the one and only Andre Batts. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful, sir. Thank you for having me here.
Most importantly, thank you for being here. I just want to know a little bit about your story. How did you get involved with comics and the arts?
Well, for when I started off, as a kid reading comics and studying comics throughout my childhood during the 70s. And once we get into the late 80s, I decided I wanted to start doing my own comics, because there was not enough representation of us in the comic book industry itself. We had maybe a few characters, but they weren't as powerful as the main central characters throughout the Marvel Universe nor DC. So I decided I was going to create my own books.
That's cool, man. I really like that. I like the fact that you created your own superhero. And this hero right here is known as Dreadlocks. He has a lot of history. I've read articles online where certain major comic book chains won't put your book on their racks. So what's going on with that?
Well, really, I don't know. I'm assuming that they're not going on the racks like that because it's a challenge towards their characters. We got to think, when you create a black character that's just as powerful as the Marvel and the DC universes as well as Image, then it poses a threat, just like everything else we do. And just like this con, once they see that, they hear that it's a con like this going on and it's got this many people there, of course they're going to want to get in on it, and they'll probably buy the con up some type of way, and do whatever they want with it. No longer will it be the Black Comic Book Festival. It's the same with the comics. You feel that it's something like the Dreadlocks. It's like giving Malcolm X power and saying that, hey, this is the man right here. Imagine replacing Dr. Martin Luther King with Malcolm X, if that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense, especially the way you explained it.
Well, the thing of the matter, what I'm really getting at is, you put Dreadlocks on the racks. What's the purpose of a kid that looked like me reading Superman reading Batman, reading Mighty Thor, reading Doctor Strange when they could read Dreadlocks.
I mean, Dreadlocks is a very interesting hero. I heard a little bit like he's a blind superhero, but he has a lot of superpowers.
Yes, he's born blind. Well, actually, he was a stillborn. He was sacrificed to the gods of Kemet, which most of you know is Egypt or whatever. Once he was sacrificed, the gods turned him from dust into a spirit, back into dust again, making him a physical being and making him a demigod, as opposed to him being just a regular human individual. So therefore, they created him blind so that he wouldn't be influenced by the ways of the actual fertile universe world, which is the world that we live in today. Because a lot of us are influenced by the things that we see every day, like television and so on and so forth, media that constantly influence our way of thinking and the way we do things.
So it's safe to say that Dreadlock is a positive black superhero, correct?
Correct. Yes, it is very safe to say that because he's positive in a lot of ways because, in fact, once again, I would like for people to see that your kindness and your strength comes from within. It's nothing external of you. That's the reason why I made him blind.
It's cool. It's good to see that you're one of the few creators that are creating a black superhero where, you know, he's just trying to do the right thing. Even though he's black, that's not important. What's important is that he's setting a good example for other people to see.
Correct. The example, you know, is just leading by example and just follow suit from within and stop following everything around you.
That's good to know. I was wondering if we can get Dreadlocks to come to the camera. We have to hear from him as well. You know, he is actually here in the flesh.
Yes, he just flew in earlier this morning. Out of nowhere, I wasn't expecting Dreadlocks to come into the fold.
Oh, shit. Hey, how you doing, man? Yo, it's so good to finally meet you in person. You jumped from 2D to 3-dimensional. This is great.
If he calls, I'm coming.
It's good to see a creator with his creation. That's cool, man. That's cool. It's cool. So is there any message you want to say to the kids out there?
It's okay to be you. You are wonderfully made, exceptionally made. You are divine.
You heard what the man said. Listen to the man's message. This is great, though. You know, I'm here with the creator of Dreadlocks and Dreadlock himself. What message do you have for the forces of evil?
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
You heard what the man said. Be very fucking afraid. You're going to get your asses kicked, and you deserve to get your asses kicked. Dreadlocks is coming for you.
Facts.
Real fast. Well, Andre and Dreadlocks, thank you so much for spending time with me and my audience, and thank you for the positive message that you have for the kids out there. When is your next convention appearance coming up? Like, I want to know.
My next convention, I'm contemplating the Boston comic. It's a Boston Black Age Comic Con coming up. If not, it'll be ECBOC, which is in May 16th, 17th, I think is the date. And then after that, I'm looking at the Blurred Con.
What?
Not the Blurred Con, the Motor City Black Age. Let me be clear on that. And then it will be the Blurred Con. I'm just getting my dates.
Well, he's going to be there at the Blurred Con too. What about you, Dreadlocks?
If he's there, I'm there.
Even though you're fighting crime and beating the shit out of the forces of evil, you're still going to make time for the cons.
He's my creator.
Gotta show his face. Gotta show his face so the people know we there.
That's good to know. You heard what the men said. You heard what Andre Bot said. You heard what Dreadlock said. They're going to be there. While Andre's busy, working on the books, he's going to be out there kicking ass, taking no names, destroying the forces of evil. This is really great. I'm really happy that I finally got to meet you and finally meet you in person. You both have been a blessing. Thank you for coming on my program. Is there anything else you want to say to the audience out there?
You just stay true to your craft. Keep doing what you're doing. If you're an artist, creator, whatever, stay true to your craft. Also, you can find me at urbanstylecomics.com.
Thank you for support. We would not be here without you. Thank you again.
Dreadlocks is so damn modest. So what's your social media contact?
Well, they can find me at Urban Style Comics or Andre Batts. Either one, they can find me.
What about if they need your help, Dreadlocks? Where should they contact you?
Just say help. Oh, you gotta say help, and I'm there.
Okay, you heard what the man said. Say help and he's there. All right, well, guys.
I'm only humble with family. You family. The villains, you see the other side.
Well, you heard what the man said. Villains beware. He's going to kick all your asses. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this segment here with Andre Bax and Dreadlocks. It's been a pleasure. That's a wrap. Until next time. Bye. Hey, how you guys doing on here? This is your boy Amari. I'm still here at the Schomburg for day 2. Unfortunately, the final day of the 8th annual Black Comic Book Festival at the Schomburg. They've been doing this for 8 years strong, and it's doing beautiful. You're wondering who is this gentleman that I'm sitting next to, who's on my right side? I'm going to tell you right now. He is heart and soul of Bronx Heroes, the one and only Ray Felix. How you doing, Ray?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's chaotic here, but I'm doing good.
It's amazing here. It's such a beautiful set of people and out there. You know, it's so crowded, but it's great. It's really great. First, I want to say thank you, man, for coming on my program and spending time with me and my audience.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that. You know, it's always good seeing you, and you know, as we both grow together, you know, it's nuts, right?
Right. So, my audience, they don't know anything about you, and I want them to know about how did you get started with art and comics?
Wow. Well, you know, I was doing a bunch of submissions from college, trying to get into the industry. I got nothing but negative feedback, but then the people kept stealing my stuff and stealing my ideas. I just kept seeing things that I submitted showing up on TV, showing up in the comic books. I just got frustrated. Something just told me, you know, at one point I was just like, I just got to do it myself, you know? No one's going to give me the opportunity, so I have to create my own opportunities, and that's exactly what I did.
Damn, I didn't realize that. You're right. You have to create your own opportunity. You can't wait for any corporation or bigwig to search you out. So, what was it like for you to draw your very first comic book?
It was hell. 'Cause there was no print on demand like there is now. Now print on demand, even though it's still expensive, you can still put out small amounts of your books. You don't have to end up with a warehouse full of books. You know, when I first started, the minimum order was 1,000 books. So you end up one issue, 1,000 books. Oh, it didn't sell well. All right, go to your next book. Another 1,000 books. Oh, it didn't sell well. Go to another 1,000 books. Before you know it, your apartment looks like a garage, you know, full of boxes of books that you didn't sell. You know, so.
That's all right, man. That's all right. I see you. You went from 1,000 books to many different books. I see you have a lot. You have a lot of beautiful work here on your table. So what's going on here?
Well, you know, thanks to like the internet, print on demand, and things, I can afford to still have like the warehouse, but smaller quantities. So, you know, we have like Trevor Von Eden co-created Black Lightning, and he worked with me on the Bronx Hero series, and then Paris Cullens did the covers for the 10th anniversary. We have Ankh here. Ankh was done by myself. I created that story. We had Winston Blakely work on it at one point. And then we had Kasim Earl, my boy Chris Duckett. And then we have other stuff like A World Without Superheroes with Tom and myself worked on that. And we have a new book coming out, Bronx Heroes in Trumpland, where the Bronx Heroes fight Donald Trump. So in the future of 2026. So it's a lot of crazy stuff that we're doing.
That sounds like the craziest book you ever done, because that's... It's going to be one hell of a fight with Agent Orange, and that's all I can legally say about him on camera. They're always watching and listening. I know. That's all.
It's like, stop making comments, and my sister's like, stop tweeting the president. He's going to get you arrested. You're going to disappear. I was like, oh, you know, this is the freedom of speech. We don't fight for what we believe in, then why are we living here in this country? It's a democracy, supposedly, right?
Unfortunately, we live in a capitalist country, soon to be socialist, and that's all I can say on camera. So, how's it been for you so far at the Black Comic Book Festival at the Schomburg today?
It is incredible here. I love this Comic-Con. This is better than New York Comic-Con. This is the best Comic-Con in New York. That's what I got to say.
It is one of the best. It's not like New York Comic-Con. Well, I mean, there are other black festivals too that deserve love as well, and you know, I not Wolf. Yeah. 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 Well, it's one of the it's one of the best shows I've been to. You know, I really enjoy it as a very family-friendly, fun environment, and it's not being overrun by cosplayers.
Right, yeah. You know, cosplayers has its time and place. It's like the evolution of comic conventions, because I think the cosplayers brought the everyday person that's not really a comic book collector into the show, but that's a new challenge for guys who are traditional collectors. It's like they feel like they're being infringed upon their hobby. So
I mean, I'm here for you guys. I'm not here for the cosplayers. That's priority number one. That's the only chip that matters to me.
I think this show is the best because this is a literacy festival. It's in a library, and that's why people are here. They're here to read.
Not only that, it's in an historic library. Historic. This place has a lot of history. And if you're not sure, come to the Schomburg and check it out for yourself. You won't be disappointed. You'll be totally satisfied.
And if you don't know about the history, look it up on Google. That's,
Even better, come here in person and check it out for yourself. Walk through the doors. Make an effort. Walk through the doors. That's what people want to see. Don't do everything on Google. Walk through the damn doors and check the place out for yourself. You need to have your own experience. Ray, please tell us what else you're up to besides all these wonderful books, all these wonderful collaborations. Is there anything else coming up? Are you working on television production?
No, I had my stuff in 2 HBO productions. One of it ended up on the cutting room floor. We had some stuff in the Watchmen series. It didn't end up on the air. It is what it is. But there's another HBO show called The Mars of Easttown, and that should be, hopefully that shows up, so we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, Ray, thank you so much for coming to my television program. Thank you so much for speaking to my audience. Thank you so much for spending time with my audience. And most important, thank you for spending time with me. This interview has been in the making for a long time. I haven't seen the guy for a long time, but I was a little bit shy in approaching him for an interview. But I was like, fuck it. Let's just do it.
Just do it.
Let's do it and get out of the way.
Just do it, man. Don't hesitate. Life is short. Live your dream. That's it.
So if somebody wishes to contact you about your services, how should they go about it via social media?
Bronx Heroes is on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. Yeah, and my website, bxhcc.com.
You heard what the man said. Use the websites, use the links, make it happen. That's a wrap, guys. Thanks for watching. Until next time. Bye.
Peace out.
Hey, how you guys doing? This is your boy Amari. I'm still here at the Schomburg. You're wondering what the hell is going on? Well, I'm going to tell you. I'm here at the 8th Annual Black Comic Book Festival. I'm standing next to a legendary, a badass in the industry, the one and only Dave Walker. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic, man, now that I get to interview you. So my audience, they don't know anything about you, so I want them to learn at least a little bit about you. Can you tell us how did you get started with comics and entertainment?
Well, I always wanted to write comics, draw comics when I was a kid. I went to college, went to art school, but got frustrated, dropped out of school, but kept with the writing, got a career in journalism, and then as I started getting older, I realized, I never pursued the thing I wanted to do as a kid, so I switched careers in my late 30s and really started pushing writing comics, and that's what I'm doing now. Okay,
so what are you writing currently right now?
I'm currently co-writing Bitter Root with Chuck Brown at Image. Young Justice, I'm co-writing with Brian Michael Bendis at DC. We just wrapped a book called Naomi at DC, and then I've got a series of my own called One Fall, a series called The Hated that I'm publishing through my imprint Solid Comics. I've got another book that's not coming out till January 2021, so I got a ton of stuff, always got stuff going on. Working on a webcomic too.
Are you also working on any animation projects?
No animation projects, but some live action stuff I'm working on.
I hope it's a Dreadlocks live action feature.
Yeah, I wish. No, it's I'm developing a TV pilot, a sitcom right now.
Oh, that's nice, man. That's good to know. Okay. You have your own comic coming out next year, 2020, January.
2021.
2021. I'm sorry, 2021. You're working on live. That's some amazing stuff right there.
Yeah.
Do you have any good advice for the young people out there that's trying to make it in this business?
You just gotta hustle. You gotta do the work. You don't wait for somebody to give you an opportunity. You create your own opportunity. You publish your stuff online. Do stuff either on your own website or maybe a Webtoons or a Tumblr or something like that. And just push. You know, it's if you want to get a break and if you want to work at a company like Marvel or DC, nobody starts out there. You start out doing your own stuff, self-publishing, again, doing web comics, stuff like that, and then build up. And it takes a long time. It took me, many moons. Yeah. Even the first part of my career in comics, when I first tried to break in, I was young. I was in my late teens, early 20s. And then I got sidetracked, but it's still, if I'd stuck with it, it still would have taken at least 10 years to get there.
Okay, that's good advice, man. Well, I have to say, I know you got to go. And thank you so much for your time. Thank you for blessing the audience.
Thank you. It was good talking to y'all. Stay cool.
All right. We'll see you guys later. That's a wrap. Until next time. Bye-bye.